Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Colorado blazed trails when it legalized pot, and now Denver could lead the way in decriminalizing magic mushrooms.
The group Denver for Psilocybin may soon get the all clear to gather signatures so you could vote on it this fall. Denver 7's Jackie Crea shows us they believe shrooms are good medicine.
Free the sports! Free the sports!
An unlikely chant at the steps of the Denver City and County building. This group met with city leaders about their push to decriminalize psilocybin, aka magic mushrooms. Tyler Williams is one of the leaders of Denver for Psilocybin.
There's a lot of research going on for all sorts of mental health issues, everything from anxiety to depression to cluster headaches, addiction.
He doesn't need the research. He credits his life with it.
I had a suicide attempt November 12th of 2015, and I think it really helped me get out of the depression. It's also helped me with my PTSD.
He's not alone. There are a growing number of people turning to psilocybin. Licensed professional counselor Kathy Hawkins treats a few, not during their use, but only before and after.
So I'm a place where they can come and talk about it. So I can make sure they're being safe about how they're using, what they're using, why they're using it.
LSD and shrooms were big in the 60s. There were even studies, but then the government labeled it a Schedule I drug, illegal, because of its negative physical and psychological effects. But many point to a study of cancer patients at Johns Hopkins experiencing a year-long positive effect from mushrooms.
They're just so desperate for help that they're willing to try. They've gotten relief from trauma, relief from anxiety, relief from depression.
In Denver, Jackie Crea, Denver 7.
After legal weed, Colorado now taking steps to legalize magic mushrooms. After making history by fighting off the reefer madness less than 6 years ago and legalizing weed, Colorado citizens may soon be voting to legalize magic mushrooms. By Matt Agarist, March 8, 2018. Less than 6 years ago, Colorado citizens tired of the war on drugs and wise to the near limitless benefits of cannabis made U.S. history by voting to legalize recreational marijuana. Now, this state could once again place themselves on the right side of history as they begin pushing for the legalization of magic mushrooms. Paving the way for legalization is a group called Denver for Psilocybin, and they may soon have the go-ahead to get mushroom legalization on the ballot. As the Denver Channel reports, gathering at the steps of the Denver City and County building on Wednesday, the group chanting at times, "Free the spores," met with city leaders about their push to decriminalize psilocybin, also known as magic mushrooms. Decriminalization would mean reducing the penalty for possession of psilocybin mushrooms. Colorado decriminalized marijuana long before the drug became legal for medicinal or recreational use. Tyler Williams, one of the leaders of Denver for Psilocybin, spoke to Denver 7 about their reasoning behind the push. There's a lot of research for all sorts of mental health issues. Everything from anxiety to depression to cluster headaches, addiction, said Williams. Indeed, there are mounds of evidence and studies showing the positive benefits of magic mushrooms. But Williams doesn't need those to be an advocate for them because they already saved his life. "I had a suicide attempt November 12 of 2015 and I think it helped me get out of my depression, and it's helped me with my PTSD," Williams said. Williams is not alone. As TFTP reported earlier this year, a study, published in the scientific journal Neuropharmacology, found that clinically depressed people had increased neural responses to fearful faces one day after a psilocybin-assisted therapy session, which positively predicted positive clinical outcomes. Psilocybin-assisted therapy might mitigate depression by increasing emotional connection, neuroscientist and study author Laura Roseman, a PhD student at Imperial College London, explained to SciPost. This is almost the exact opposite of how standard antidepressants operate, as SSRIs typically work by creating an emotional blunting. THIS is unlike SSRI antidepressants, which are criticized for creating in many people a general emotional blunting, noted Roseman. I believe that psychedelics hold a potential to cure deep psychological wounds, and I believe that by investigating their neuropsychopharmacological mechanism, we can learn to understand this potential, explained Roseman. As TFTP previously reported, mushrooms and psychedelics used to be widely accepted as a treatment for many ailments until government moved in to stop the expansion of human consciousness. In the 1940s, Western medicine began realizing the potential for psychedelics to treat addiction and psychiatric disorders. Tens of thousands of people were treated effectively, and psychedelic drugs were on the fast track to becoming mainstream medicine. But the beast of oppression reared its ugly head. In 1967 and 1970, the UK and US governments cast all psychedelic substances into the pit of prohibition. People were waking up to the fact that governments intended to keep the world in a state of war, and that governments were working to keep the populace sedated under a cloak of consumerism. The collective mind expansion of that era came to a screeching halt under the boot and truncheon. As John Vibes pointed out in January, a study actually confirmed the fear of authoritarians and showed they have every reason to oppose legal mushrooms. According to the study from the Psychedelic Research Group at Imperial College London, published in the journal Psychopharmacology, psychedelic mushrooms tend to make people more resistant to authority. They also found the psychedelic experience induced by these mushrooms also cause people to be more connected with nature. Our findings tentatively raise the possibility that given in this way, psilocybin may produce sustained changes in outlook and political perspective, here in the direction of increased nature-relatedness and decreased authoritarianism, researchers Taylor Lyons and Robin L. Carhart Harris write in the study. Now, as people share information globally, instantaneously, on a scale unstoppable by the state, we are resuming the advancement of medical research on psychedelic substances. Scientists are challenging the irrational classification of psychedelics as Class A, UK, or Schedule I, US, substances, characterized as having no medical use and high potential for addiction. And, the recent push in Colorado is evidence of this. While the stigma associated with mushrooms has been perpetuated by those who wish to keep them illegal to keep society in a constant state of obedient mediocrity, in reality, they are extremely safe. In fact, a major study last year declared magic mushrooms to be the safest recreational drug. Of an astonishing 120,000 participants from 50 nations, researchers for the Global Drug Survey found the percentage of those seeking emergency treatment for ingesting psilocybin-containing hallucinogenic mushrooms to comprise just 0.2% per 10,000 individuals. Rates of hospitalization for MDMA, alcohol, LSD, and cocaine were an astounding 5 times higher. Magic mushrooms are one of the safest drugs in the world, Global Drug Survey founder and consultant addiction psychiatrist, Adam Winstock, told The Guardian, noting the biggest risk users face is misidentification, ingesting the wrong mushroom, not from the psychedelic fungus itself. After 40 years, it appears that another brick in the wall of prohibition is beginning to crumble in the face of science and logic. There may be hope for humanity after all.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me, and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.